Hello, family. Welcome. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. Check in, let us know where you're hailing from. We're so excited to be here today because we do have some wonderful news. So before we begin, today is Wednesday, March the 12th, 2025, and the time is 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we do have great news, family, but I want you to check in, let us know how you're doing. Tell us about your day. Because we don't want to be on long. And I know I say that all the time, but family, we have some good news. And that good breaking news, in short, is that banks have geared up and they are ready for currency exchanges. So I've done videos before talking about how the RV is coming. And I also talked last year about how banks met globally to ensure that they were prepared for currency exchanges. And in that video, I showed you an article where the banks actually stated that they met to make sure that they were ready for currency exchanges. And they said why they needed the currencies. In that particular video, it said that banks needed your currencies or tier 2 assets in order to ensure the health of the banks or in order to keep banks from going bankrupt. That was last year when I reported that, and I'll show you the video in a few minutes. But just recently, on March the 7th, just 5 days ago, I think it was, yes, the Office of Comptrollers of Currencies stated that currencies will be exchanged into digital assets, such as XRP. So for people wondering, how are we going to exchange our currencies? What is that going to look like? When you go to the bank to exchange your currencies, you will see that they will be turned over to digital assets. And this is why President Trump said he's going to make a Bitcoin great and he's going to make America the Bitcoin capital of the world. He was preparing us for the currency exchanges. So now cryptocurrency services or digital assets will be used in normal banking. So what essentially, I'm going to show you the article, but what the article states is that banks can now offer services in digital assets. So there were restrictions on banks saying that you could not use digital assets, but those restrictions under the Biden administration have been removed. So restrictions that said bankers had to consult with lawmakers first before utilizing digital assets has been reversed by President Trump. Before, under Biden and before Biden, it was stated that banks didn't have legal rights to conduct transactions in digital currencies under the Biden administration. But now President Trump and his administration has says that banks can bypass those previous requirements that said that you could not use digital assets. So this is great news for all of us that hold currencies, family. So now you don't have to get approval from these lawmakers who didn't care about us. You know, all this red tape lawmakers will make you go through. You know how they take their time. You don't have to go. Banks don't have to go through any of that, according to the Office of Comptroller of Currencies. Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. So no longer do you have to go through this legal red tape in order to use what's called what's it called? Using digital assets, but it's called some type of transaction. Is my mind. Cross-border transactions. So now banks will use cross-border transactions. So Ripple, as you all know, is the payment solution that banks will use. Banks, governments, and institutions, they will use Ripple. Ripple is Ripple's primary case, and what they particularly use for cross-border payments is XRP. So according to the article, Ripple will be used for cross-border payments. For example, Iraq can now use cross-border payments or crossing over from Iraq to America, from America to Afghanistan, from Afghanistan to Ishbandu or whatever. So basically, when the article talks about using cross-border transactions through using digital assets, what they're saying, cross-border transaction is another word for currency transactions or currency exchanges. So cross-border payments, again, is the technical term for currency exchanges. Now the controller of the currencies or comptroller of the currency is letting us know that banks don't have to go through any more jumping over hoops. And this kind of reminds me of how the Supreme Court of the United States overturned many of the governmental agencies that said that, that said they could put, certain restrictions on us. All these government agencies. I think I have a list of about 441 that would give us all these statutes and codes and policies, and said you had to jump through all these hoops in order to be compliant, or else you could pay a fine or you can go to jail. But the Supreme Court of the United States overturned that, the Chevron doctrine or the Chevron deference. So part of that is not only can agencies or government agencies put restrictions on us through, and then if you didn't like it, the lawmakers would make you abide by them, because the lawmakers would say those agencies are the experts. Now, the Supreme Court of the United States and President Donald Trump is saying that banks don't have to go through lawmakers in order to do cross-border transactions. So XRP will allow financial institutions to be able to move money swiftly, and it will allow exchanges to occur instantaneously. So I'm going to show you this article because I just want to make sure you know that this is done. It is done, family. The banks are ready for currency exchanges. So here we have it. This was released March the 7th, 2025. The OCC, or the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, clarifies bank authority to engage in certain cryptocurrency activities. Now, I know people don't like to use the word cryptocurrency because crypto means death, or cryptic is dead. But I want you to look at it from a broader perspective and consider that cryptocurrency is just another word for digital assets. So a lot of people don't know about digital assets, digital currencies, cross-border transactions. So they just use a blanket term by saying cryptocurrencies. So the OCC clarified that bank authority can engage in certain cryptocurrency activity. This is out of Washington. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency today took action to reaffirm that a range of cryptocurrency activities are permissible in the federal banking system. A range of cryptocurrency activities. The OCC published interpretive letter 1183 to confirm that crypto asset custody, certain stable coin activities, and participation in independent node verification networks such as distributed ledger are permissible for national banks and federal savings associations. The letter also rescinds the requirement for OCC supervised institution to receive supervisory non-objection and demonstrate that they have adequate controls in place before they can exchange or engage in cryptocurrency activities. The OCC expects banks to have the same strong risk management controls in place to support novel bank activities as they do for traditional ones. Today's action will reduce the burden on banks to engage in crypto-related activities and ensure that these bank activities are treated consistently by the OCC regarding underlying technology. So when you delve into the article and other articles, like here are more links that are attached to it, talking about stablecoin, talking about cross-border transactions, you will see that banks are very much ready, family, for currency exchanges. Now, if you recall last year, I showed you articles. Hi, family, it's good to see you too. I showed you articles and on my YouTube channel about currency exchanges. So if you go to Dr. Kia Pruitt show, you'll see this one is mine. I have 10,700 subscribers on this channel. There are many fake channels, so I want you to get the right one. You'll see here, scroll down under the video section, and you will see a video where I say good news right here. Great news for currency holders. I'll put this in the description section for you. It says banks are ready for currency exchanges. And this is the video where I showed you an article that said that banks met globally to ensure that they were ready to receive tier 2 assets. Now, when you go to that link, that's in this particular article. You see global banks gear up for tier 2 capital issuance under Basel III guidelines. When you go under this particular link here, it's not showing anymore. They took it down. How banks were geared up or met globally to prepare to ensure that they are ready for tier 2 assets. However, let me show you this. However, in that video, I actually read the article. So I'll show you that right now. This particular video here is in this video here. Excuse me, let me show you the article. Here's the article right here. Banks met globally for tier 2 issuance. And then I'll show you what happens when you click on the link. It's no longer there. But the good news is I brought up the article in that particular video and I read it line by line. So I'll need you to go to the article, go to the video, click on the link. I will click on the video and you'll see me read it, because when you click on the link associated to that video, this is what comes up. It's not the article that I read because they scrubbed it from the internet. But I can assure you in that video, I actually read line by line how banks are ready for tier 2 assets under Basel III compliancy. So most people know that all banks that are allowed to stay up have to be Basel III compliant. And they know that Basel III means that banks have to recognize gold as a tier 1 asset, number one. And the second part of that, though, that most people won't talk about because they just don't know it, is not only do banks have to recognize gold as a tier 1 asset, but banks have to receive tier 2 assets. People don't know what tier 2 assets are, but in the video that I did, and I put it on my channel, the one I just showed you, I actually go through line by line what tier 2 assets are. So the reason why banks had to receive tier 2 assets as well as recognize gold as a tier 1 asset is because banks essentially have to recognize gold as money, and they have to receive foreign currencies, because gold and those foreign currencies will be the staple or will be the money of the bank. And again, gold and your foreign currencies will keep the banks afloat or keep the banks from going bankrupt. So here in this particular article, I looked up what tier 2 assets are, because again, in that video, I say banks are ready for tier 2 assets. But unless you know what tier 2 assets are, you don't know what the article is saying. Well, the tier 2 assets are foreign reserve notes or foreign currencies. And here is the article where I talk about tier 2 capital. And it talks about how tier 2 capital is the second layer of a capital that a bank must keep as a part of its required reserves. This tier is comprised of revaluation reserves. You see that? What are revaluation reserves? Foreign currencies. So they're speaking in banking terms, but when you know banking terms and you understand how the language that they use, then you know exactly what they're saying. Excuse me for this popping up. There are two levels of tier 2 capital, upper level and a lower level. Tier 2 capital is subordinate to tier 1 capital because tier 1 capital is gold and is considered riskier and is more difficult to calculate if a bank needs to liquidate it. But it goes on to talk about the Basel Accord, what tier 2 assets are, why the bank needs these tier 2 assets, what a revaluation reserve is even. These are reserves created by the revaluation of an asset. The typical revaluation reserve is a building, according to this, owned by a bank. Over time, the value of the real estate asset tends to increase and can thus be revalued. But another thing that can be revalued, it'll go on and talk about it in the article, is foreign reserve currencies or foreign currencies or tier 2 currencies. So I'll let you read through that. I did a whole deep dive in that particular video that I did. I actually did that video last summer because people don't know that banks met globally last summer to ensure that everything was in order. They had de la rue machines in order. Their de la rue machines were make sure that your currencies are verifiable, to make sure they're authentic. The banks now have to be completely transparent. The banks now can no longer steal your money or do a bail-in. The banks have to be completely compliant with the new regulations that are set forward by the Trump administration. Along with that, now state-sponsored banks, according to the Supreme Court of the United States, can operate outside of the federal bank, and they can have their own charter and issue out their own gold-backed currencies. So a lot is going on in the banking system, family, but I just wanted to let you know that this is now lawful. It is now legal, and it's now actually put in print that the Office of the the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency has stated that banks now will use XRP and Ripple, or stable coins, for cross-border transactions. So essentially, again, when you go to the bank and you do a currency exchange, you will be exchanging your currency for a digital asset. And then you can take that digital asset and buy gold or silver or other devalue assets like real estate. Because real estate right now is being pushed right back onto the market. The real estate is doing a market correction. So if you recall, during COVID and right after COVID, a lot of people could not keep up their mortgage payments. Everything was shut down. People were out of work, right? So when they couldn't keep up their mortgage payments, the banks were foreclosing on those homes. Well, at the same time the banks were foreclosing on the homes, these banks and big companies like BlackRock, State Street, even companies like Zillow, they bought up houses, they bought up apartment complexes, and they raised the rents because they knew people needed a place to stay now that their homes were foreclosed on. Well, when they raised the rents, they didn't do any remodeling or very little. At least people had a place to go to, though. And unfortunately, the rents kept going up during COVID, right after COVID, year after year. Year after year, the rents went up and people just could not afford it. So people moved out of the house, those homes, those rented homes. And now we have a lot of people on the street. We have a lot of homeless people, family. Well, of course, the deep state, BlackRock, State Street, Zillow, all those companies that bought up all of these rental properties, they don't care. They just kept raising up the rents. Excuse me. But now that nobody can afford, almost nobody can afford the rent because they just keep going up. There's no controls put on the rents. Now, State Street, whatever, BlackRock, State Street, Zillow, all of these companies that bought up all this real estate are now dumping it back onto the market. So you are poised to see a stock market crash. When the stock market crash happens, a real estate market crash, when this real estate market crashes, you will be able to buy those devalue assets. So again, you'll go to the bank, you'll do a currency exchange. It will be exchanged to a digital coin or digital assets. Then you can take your digital assets to buy hard assets. If you look it up, it won't be hard to find out that we are seeing a housing market collapse happening right before our eyes. Here's just one article that just popped up on my phone, that there are 4 states facing the major housing market crash or a market correction right now. This was published March the 9th. Here are the 4 states, and it talks about how the reasons. It says, now before you panic and start picturing tumbleweeds rolling down your street, it's important to understand what a housing market downturn or a correction really is. The imbalances is due to imbalances in housing markets, making them more susceptible to shifts in the economic winds. These imbalances can show up in a few key ways: unaffordable homes, which we talked about, underwater mortgages, foreclosures on the rise, unemployment spikes, all of that. And here are 4 states where this particular article is saying a major housing market crash or market correction is happening. And you already guessed it, California, the Golden State's housing market is facing a reality check that people cannot afford to live in the houses in California. And it talks about what's going on there. Illinois is the second state. Florida is another state where we're experiencing a housing market crash, meaning that the market is taking a downturn. And the fourth one is, I want to say it was New York. Let's see. Yes, New York. New York City's metro area's persistent unaffordability. The New York City metro area, including Kings or Brooklyn and Richmond, Staten Island counties, and New York City itself, and Essex and Passaic counties, and Northern Jersey, remain one of the most expensive housing markets in the country. While demand is typically strong in this region, the extreme levels of unaffordability is a major concern. So it's not just these four places, but these are the four places where you see a huge market collapse that's happening in real time. New York, California, Illinois, and what was the second one? The fourth one, excuse me. Let's see. California, Illinois, Florida, and New York. So not only do you have BlackRock, State Street, Zillow, and all these companies dumping houses back onto the market, but China's largest real estate company called Evergrande filed for bankruptcy in America, China's, 2 years ago. And they were forced to liquidate their assets. Well, all of those houses, all of that farmland, all those properties, all those buildings, even the corporate or commercial property is being dumped onto the market that was owned by China. At the same time that was happening, you had 400 million people defect from the Chinese Communist Party. And they did a huge celebration 2 years ago. It was called Taidong. They did it in New York, where people were saying they were forced to participate in the Chinese Communist Party, or they were blackmailed into it, or they were lulled into it, or some of them did it willingly. They were like, I'm done. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. 400 million people defected or left the Chinese Communist Party. The Chinese Communist Party was controlling America as well as the Ukraine mafia. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. You can type in Cleveland, Ohio right now, who owns Cleveland, Ohio, who owns downtown Cleveland, Ohio, and you will see it says Ukraine, the Ukrainian mafia. Ukraine, the Chinese Communist Party of China, and many other foreign entities own land, farmland, real estate, etc. here in America. But all that is being overturned. Now that the 400 million people defected from the CCP, all that real estate is being dumped onto the market. And that means you, family, will be able to buy real estate for your family once you do the currency exchange. So I know people say, Pruitt, I cannot afford currencies. Let me tell you something, family. There are so many currencies that have been devalued by sanctions or war all over the world. And although you have some currencies, thank you for the Cash App blessing. I appreciate you, Sister Lydia. God bless you. Heaven smile on you. Although you have like the 100 trillion note of the Zimbabwean Zim that might be $100. Some of them are even almost $1,000. Sometimes you will find them on sale. But it's not just the Zimbabwean Zim. You got the Zimbabwean Zim, the Indonesian Rupiah, the Venezuelan Bolivar. The new Venezuelan currency is the digitalis. You have the Indian rupee. You have the Vietnamese dong. You have so many currencies, family. So type in the chat what type of currencies people can look into. And you don't have to get the big ones. Get a lower denomination. Look up Zim bonds. Go to eBay if you must. You don't have to go to the mainstream online dealers to get a currency. Go to eBay. If you don't trust eBay, look at eBay. Look for the lower denomination of the currency that you desire, and look for the ones that come with the certificate of authenticity, or the certificate of authenticity, or COA. You can type in, go to ebay.com, type in Zimbabwe or Zim currency, COA. or a certificate of authenticity. You can write it all out and you will see lower denominations of currencies. Be diligent about it. Even consider going to your local coin dealer, because some local coin dealers actually sell currencies. Because what happens is you have like older people and wealthy people that collect currencies because they knew that currencies were going to revalue at some point, or they collect currencies because they just like it as a collectible, because currencies are beautiful from different countries and they just like having them. But when these families have estate sales, they usually sell those currencies back to the local coin shop. So you could go to your local coin shop, look up local coin company near me or numismatics near me, Numismatics, numismatics, TICS, and see if they have foreign currencies. Now, if you go to my YouTube channel on the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show, under the post section, which used to be called the community section, you will see I show you how Vietnamese dong, it was a $100,000 note, was selling for $12 at banknotesworld.com. Bank, BANKNOTE, banknoteworld.com. And somebody came under that post and said, Dr. Pruitt, you're right. Some of them were selling for $12, but I found some that are selling for $9. You can get a circulated note. You don't have to get one that's uncirculated, meaning it's very new, it's never been used. Get a circulated note because it's still a note. It's still part of their currency and it might be less expensive. So I really desire for you to practice asking yourself, how can I do this? Instead of saying, I can't. Okay. Now I know times are tight. Everybody's budget is tight, but family, we are so close. I already reported like 2 weeks ago how many not coin dealers, but currency dealers were sending email to people saying, we are on standby. We are on notice that at any moment, the United States Treasury Department can say, or will say, that it's time to stop selling these currencies. And they were so sure that it was about to happen that they reached out to people and said, if you don't get your currency this week, or by this weekend, is because we've heard from the United States Treasury Department that it's time to revalue these currencies and we have to stop selling them. But we'll hold the currency for you. I reported this 2 weeks ago, and you can come to the office and get it directly. You can come to get it directly from us. So family, we are on the precipice of all of this going down. Now, I reported also in my last report on the Iraqi dinar that the Iraqi dinar is going digital. They made that announcement. It's a formal announcement that the Iraqi dinar is going digital. Do you know what that means for the Iraqi dinar to go, or Iraq to go digital and the Iraqi dinar to go digital? That means they're about to take the currencies, the Iraqi dinar, off the streets. No more notes. This is in alignment with what we just talked about with the banks using doing border-to-border transaction, meaning they could do currency exchanges from Iraq to Afghanistan to America and vice versa, all over the world. These cross-border transactions, meaning they're preparing for your currency exchanges. So again, Iraq has already announced that they're going digital. They'll be digital, but their digital currency will be backed by gold and it will be powered by Ripple. So I want you, family, I desire for you to get really serious about this if you haven't already, that we're about to do a currency exchange. There already are rumors. There are so many rumors coming out that the Venezuelan Bolivar has revalued. Now, it's still not where it needs to be because things have to still happen. There are still sanctions on Venezuela that needs to be removed. Then it's going to revalue even more. So the Venezuelan Bolivar has revalued. The exchange rate has changed. So get ready, family. Get ready. It's happening. Somebody says they're wondering how high silver will go. People have said it's going to go high. We know that gold, in terms of gold, in order to pay, this is what economists have said, in order to pay off all the debts on the book, gold needs to be revalued between $10,000 an ounce and $100,000 per ounce. Some economists have said way more than $100,000 per ounce. And we know silver will follow. Silver is gold's little sister. Silver definitely will follow, and silver will outperform gold. Many economists have said that. Silver will outperform gold because silver has more usage, more utility. So gold has been used historically for money and for jewelry, but silver will be used for solar panels, technology, what else? Your appliances, different healing modalities, healing tools, because we have silver receptors in our brain. Silver is a byproduct of gold and other precious metals. And silver is just going to be used for so many different things. And imagine all of this new technology that's about to be released. Once that's released, it's going to require silver. So we know silver is going to revalue right along with gold. Thank you, Unaverage Joe. Unaverage Joe says, oh my God, I just saw XE and it's showing my 25,000 dinar is equal to 25,000 USD. Are you serious? I'm telling you, it's happening, family. Chief Max here. It's happening, family. Even gold and silver in times get hard. I don't care what documents you're writing. An apple is worth more if you're hungry, if you get my point. I don't get your point, sweetheart. Are you saying the times you get hard, you're going to need food, not silver and gold? Well, then I suggest you get food. Absolutely. But for those who can get food and put aside a little money, gold is on. You can get a gold RM note for $2.32. I've covered that many times, and I've been talking about gold backs and gold RM notes for years. I don't know why people just won't listen. Like some people can't come up with $2.32, and I get that, but some people really can. Some people can. So if you can't afford it, I get it. If it's not in your budget, get food, because by all means you must eat, right? You must eat first. But for those of you who can, get what you can get. Not all currency is valued, someone says. The banks that will remain once it is announced that we're ready must all be Basel III compliant. The only ones that will remain are those that are compliant. Family, the reason why I'm saying let's get really serious if we haven't already, because as I covered, houses are being dumped onto the market. This is a good time for you to buy devalue assets. And if you don't have money right now, at least when you do the currency exchange, you can. But not only are houses being dumped onto the market, but we see like stores closing. I know you've seen a lot of commercial property or commercial real estate. The buildings are empty. Stores are closing. Restaurant chains are closing. Here's an article right here to talk about 20 popular restaurant chains that have closed, hundreds of locations. This was in 2024, by the end of 2024. And there are more articles that talk about more restaurant chains to come. All these commercial buildings will be dumped onto the market. McDonald's has dealt with rare drops in sales and a wave of consumer backlash over its prices. Coffee giants like Starbucks has fallen in popularity. Wendy's, Dickey's Barbecue Pit, Denny's, Shake Shack, KFC, Noodles and Company, Buca di Beppo, that's an Italian restaurant, Hooters, BurgerFi, Red Lobster, Ruby's Coastal Grill, Cracker Barrel, Applebee's, TGI Fridays, Boston Market, My Pizza, PDQ, Outback Steakhouse, Hardee's, Tijuana Flats, and more. This is a great prime opportunity for us. You might not have the money right now, but to buy up these buildings and or to start your own restaurant, to start your own business. Use your gifts, your talents, your skills and abilities. You might not be able to exchange currencies. You might not have a couple of dollars to buy currencies, but you will have something when the system turns over, because all of that money that has been accruing interest, that's tied to your trust account that was created at your birth, through your birth certificate becoming monetized, securitized, and earning interest rate, that's all coming back to you. Additionally, if you don't think that's true, then consider the money that you will save when the IRS is done away with. President Trump has already said that he's doing away with the Internal Revenue Services and he's creating the External Revenue Services. He said he's ending the IRS, and he has already started that layoff process of IRS workers, and he halted the hiring of the 87,000 agents that were supposed to be hired by the IRS. It is happening right now, family. When the IRS ceases to exist, you'll be able to keep all that money in your pocket. It is happening, family. It may seem like it's not, but like President Trump said, once I stop when we stop having the American people to be taxed, and we now tax these other countries by putting tariffs on them, that alone will make America wealthy again. So you have no more taxes, no more IRS. You putting taxes on other countries. You have the Sovereign Wealth Fund. You have countries like Ukraine and the Congo offering America rare earth minerals in exchange for peace in their nations. And you have America discovering 2.34 billion metric tons of rare earth minerals last year. Plus, we have gold. We have the gold. Okay. We have gold in the Colorado River, flowing right around the Colorado River. We have gold in all these pyramids in the United States of America, because America is Egypt. So you got pyramids all over this country. You have gold in the Grand Canyon, and Trump has already asked for an audit of that gold. Okay, you have gold all over the place here in America, plus rare earth minerals. And we have the Sovereign Wealth Fund. What is the Sovereign Wealth Fund? It is a fund that President Trump has created that's comprised of gold, silver, rare earth minerals, real estate, foreign reserve notes, also known as foreign currencies, stocks, and bonds. And that Sovereign Wealth Fund will be used for at least two things: for development. For example, development of programs, development of our infrastructure to fix the roads, all that development, and investments. That's what the Sovereign Wealth Fund is used for. But it's comprised of all of these assets. America is very, very wealthy. You will thrive, but it's very, very important that you use this wealth wisely. And this is why I would encourage you to start thinking about having a wealth manager, what that looks like. You need a wealth manager because, and I've spoken to many wealth managers who say when people become wealthy overnight, they usually run through the money because they're not used to having so much money. So you need a wealth manager. Start looking now, at least doing your research. But all these banks will be turned to wealth management centers, and they will offer, wealth management advice, and they will offer a way to create your common law trust, or your trust that's called a irrevocable living business common law trust, because we're going into a new age, family. So I just wanted to come on briefly to let you know things are happening again. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency has stated that Ripple and XRP will be used for cross-border transactions, and these banks no longer can have any type of stipulations or restrictions placed on them, and they don't have to go through the restrictions that Biden placed on them, saying that before they can use any type of cross-border transactions or digital assets, they had to go through lawmakers. That's been done away with. So we can see the overturning of the Chevron doctrine happening in real time. That's why so many government workers are losing their jobs, because President Trump has tasked Elon Musk with downsizing the government through DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. It's happening. So be encouraged, family. Stay positive. Keep searching for good information. When you come from an abundance mindset, and you know there's more than enough wealth, there's more than enough food, there's more than enough gold, there's more than enough silver, there's more than enough resources on this planet to take care of everybody. When you come from that place of an abundance mindset, knowing there's more than enough, knowing that things are working for your good, knowing that you are wealthy, knowing that you will be in a place where you're going to be able to help yourself, your family, and the humanity, then you will start looking for the information to confirm what you know. See what I mean? So come from an abundance mindset. Have a positive mind. When somebody gives you good news, don't say what if or but. Or if you do, then still come from a positive place. Or don't say I can't. Say how can I? Because the moment you make up your mind, the universe conspires to assist you. That's real, family. The moment you make up your mind that things are going to work out for your good, that's when the universe starts to show you how it's working for your good. The moment you ask yourself, how can I become involved that in this greatest wealth transfer, that's when you'll tune into a show like the Dr. Kia Pruitt show, or something will pop on your feed. That's when you'll run into somebody that'll ask you, have you heard? So how can you get on the greatest wealth transfer? I did a video on that and I'll repost it for you, by doing the same thing they did during the Great Depression. What was it that they did during the Great Depression? They bought depreciated assets. They bought real estate while it was depreciated. Everybody didn't know how to, that's what you do. And they didn't know to look for the depreciated assets. They bought stocks and bonds when they went down. Now we have digital assets that are very, very low, or cryptocurrencies. You can get in on the digital asset market. You can get in on the land. You can even, certain things you can do now without having a lot of money, by pooling your resources, looking for people that are like-minded, and buying some land. You can get together with your family, with friends. There's so many videos on YouTube where people have a few dollars and they put it together with like-minded people and they build a whole community. I have somebody that I know who didn't wait to, or she didn't even know about a currency revaluation. She said, I'm going to help adults that people have forgotten, like adults with disabilities. She's one of my friends from Louisville, Kentucky. She started a beautiful humanitarian project by just saying, I'm going to do something now. I'm not going to wait for somebody to give me money. She told me last year, I'm going to find a way to help adults with disability that people have thrown away and just put into state places, state hospitals, because they don't care about them anymore, or they can't afford to take care of them. And she found a way. And with 1 year, my friend has 5 homes filled with adults with disabilities. And she started with very little money because she made up her mind she was going to do it. The moment you make up your mind, family, the universe will conspire to assist you. She's agreed to come onto my channel to talk to us about how you don't have to wait to be wealthy to start a humanitarian project. And now that she has started, people are pouring into her. Now that she's made up her mind and she's launched out, people are pouring money into her. I told her, come onto my show. We will support you. You don't have to wait to get rich to help people. You don't have to wait, family. So how can you get in on the greatest wealth transfer? Again, by buying depreciated assets, or at least planning to do it. Silver is down right now. Gold is down right now. And even if it weren't down, I told you about gold backs or gold RM notes. You could go to any online dealership, online silver and gold dealership. APMEX, APMEX has gold backs. Who else? JM Bullion has it. SD Bullion has gold backs. Last I heard, Miles Franklin did not have gold backs, but they do have silver and gold. Gold backs are gold RM notes. Okay. They are 0.999 pure gold notes pressed onto a note. Pure 14 karat gold or 24 karat gold pressed onto a note that you can use to buy local goods and services. Right now, 46 states have passed laws. They've passed legislation reclaiming silver and gold as money. How did they do that? By either partially removing state sales taxes or completely removing state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals. Because under other administrations, you could tax silver and gold because silver and gold were not considered money. Silver and gold were considered a commodity or a collector's item like art, a collector's item or a commodity like trading cards. And when you have a collectible, you can put taxes on them, or even like foreign currencies. But now silver and gold, according to 46 states, the lawmakers have said you can't put state sales taxes on silver and gold because the Constitution for our republic says that silver and gold is money, and you may not, according to our Constitution for our republic, tax money. So 46 states have repealed the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals, and I've been reporting this all along from when there were only 13 states that said you can use silver and gold as legal tender. And I've had many people, even in the precious metal space, that told me that we will not be ever using silver and gold as money. And I challenged that because I know how to read. And I know when a lawmakers repeals or removes the state sales taxes from silver and gold, they are essentially saying that silver and gold cannot be taxed because it's money. And now, most recently, the Sound Money Defense League came out with an article that supports my claim that 46 states now have repealed the state sales tax from the sales of precious metals. And when you do that, you're acknowledging silver and gold as money. You're reclaiming silver and gold as money. There's an article out there that says that. And that aligns with the article, the King's World article that I love to bring out. And I've been bringing it to your attention since February 2023. That King's World article that says that the world is hurtling back to silver and gold as money. In other words, the world is rushing back to silver and gold as money. And the way the world is doing that is by joining the BRICS coalition: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Those countries stop trading with the dollar and start using their own local currencies for trade. When that happened, Vladimir Putin told all the nations in the world, you should do the same thing. I'm leading this coalition. And he told the African nations, I will support you with the military. I will support you with my advice. And I will support you if you need it. You can use my currency, the Russian ruble. Some nations did use the Russian ruble in 2022, such as the BRICS nations. And that's why the Russian ruble in 2022 was the strongest performing currency in the world. So Vladimir Putin told the African nations, stand on your own 2 feet. I know you've been wanting to do this. I got your back. And the African nations start kicking out colonists. So you had Senegal, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, and Chad to kick out the French. And that's why the French are struggling right now, because they say, get out of my country. They kicked out the French colonists. Said, no longer can you rape my country of its resources. We're kicking you out. We're kicking out your aid workers. We're kicking out your military, and we're going to stand our own 2 feet. We're creating our own military coalition. And they had the support of Vladimir Putin. So now France is struggling. And so the people in France were like, now we can't rape Africa. So what you gonna do? So they did a no vote of confidence, and they got rid of the whole Treasury Department and part of the other part of the administration in France. Now the Prime Minister of France says he's not gonna step down because his term isn't over to 2027. But the people are pressuring, you need to step down. Because we don't have confidence in you. We don't have confidence in the Treasury Department. We don't have confidence in your finance department. None of y'all. Because y'all left us out here struggling now that we can't rape Africa. So you got the BRICS nation, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa that stopped trading with the dollar. And then you have the Shanghai Corporation. Chief Mac, I sent you a link. If you wanted to, because you said you wanted to say something about what we can do with these depreciated assets. So you had the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa to stop trading with dollar, and you had the Shanghai Corporation Organization. Those are your Asian nations that stop trading with the dollar. All of them stop trading with the dollar. And then more importantly, once Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa followed Vladimir Putin's lead and stopped trading the United States dollar, then Saudi Arabia joined BRICS. And Saudi Arabia became known as Sal BRICS. Once Saudi Arabia joined BRICS, that was over for the dollar, Because what made the dollar the world reserve currency was our agreement with Saudi Arabia that the United States of America would protect the Saudi empire and the Saudi princes in exchange for their oil. And then we would force all exporting nations to get oil from Saudi Arabia, and they must trade with the dollar. Well, once Saudi Arabia joined BRICS, that was it. But nobody was talking about it a couple years ago. I came on and online and I talked about it. I brought Andy Schechtman, the CEO of Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company, on to talk about it because I needed some backing up, because I looked like a Looney Tune saying Saudi Arabia had joined BRICS and the dollar was done. I looked like an idiot saying it by myself out here straggling. That happened years ago. Mainstream media wouldn't cover it. Saudi Arabia became known as Sal BRICS. But what the news did a year later, last year, no, because I reported that 2022. So what they did 2 years later in 2024 was said that the contract between the United States of America and Saudi Arabia was not renewed as of June of 2024. So that means that ended the financial and economic hegemony for the United States of America, or the United States Incorporated. Because again, what made the world reserve, the dollar, the world reserve currency, remember the United States dollar was actually the currency of the United States Incorporated and their Federal Reserve central banking system. What made the USD the world reserve currency was our agreement with Saudi Arabia. It will support the Saudi empire in exchange for their oil and force all other nations to trade, get oil from Saudi Arabia and trade using the United States dollar. Well, that agreement is over. And it had to be over anyway because the United States Incorporated is bankrupt. Please do not confuse the United States Incorporated with America, our republic, because the country is doing well. We're thriving. We have gold, we have silver, we have palladium, we have platinum. We have at least 2.34 billion metric tons of rare earth minerals that were found in Wyoming alone. What more must we have with all of the pyramids here? With Egypt being here in America, with the Garden of Eden being here in America, what more do we have? Oh, we are rich. The United States Incorporated is not rich. They're bankrupt and defunct. And they have been dismantled. It's on and popping. President Trump is on fire. Now, a lot of people are upset because he's downsizing the government. He's tasked Elon Musk with, making sure a lot of people that were hired through DEI programs or just given jobs and just given a bunch of money for doing nothing, that they were fired. Now you're going to have a lot of good, benevolent people that are kind of like, what you call them, casualties in all this, but they at least are given something, right? They're given something as they exit, some money, some cushion. It might not be a whole lot, but at least you're given something, and at least you're given notice so you can start preparing. But that has to happen. The government has to be downsized because the government is not part of our republic. The Supreme Court of the United States let us know that when they overturned the Chevron doctrine or the Chevron deference, that all of these entities that call themselves governmental agencies, the IRS, the CIA, the FBI, the EPA, the CPS, the DMV, all of them are unlawful. They're not part of our republic. And the Supreme Court of the United States went a step further, said not only are they not a part of our government, they're treasonous because they made all these statutes, codes, policies. Please don't confuse them with laws, because they're not laws. What's lawful is what is in alignment with the Constitution for our republic. What's legal is what's passed through legislation according to the United States Incorporated. Legal, Incorporated, United States Incorporated, and the Constitution of the United States Incorporated. Lawful republic, common law, republic for America. Supreme Court of the United States said these government agencies, at least 441 of them, are unlawful. They're not part of our republic. They're treasonous. They put all of these codes, statutes, and policies and burdens on the American people to choke us out and make it hard for us. We were supposed to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They sucked that out of our bodies. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They're treasonous. Supreme Court of the United States said they're treasonous and they must be dismantled. Then they went a step further and they said any judge that referred back to those governmental agencies and said that those agencies are the expert and that the American people have to abide by them, they have also committed treason. So not only are those government, you shouldn't even want anything to do with those governmental agencies anymore. If you participated and you deferred back to, that's why it was called the Chevron deference, back to these entities, and you're a judge, you have committed treason. And if you're a judge and you knew of a judge that allowed this to happen, you have committed misprision of treason. If I were some of these people, I'd be rushing to step down from my position willingly, because the penalty for treason is at the most and at the least having your assets frozen. And that's why President Trump, under his first administration, created Executive Order 13818. So some people are saying, we're going to go to the federal judges, we're going to go to court, we're mad that they're downsizing the government, blah, blah, say, blah, blah. It doesn't matter if you're mad. You're going to be either asked to leave, audited, or forced to leave. Why does going to a federal judge not count? Because many of the federal judges are going to have to step down because they've committed treason. And many of these judges are not judges. They're not lawful. They had to pass the British accredited registry, just like the attorneys. Most attorneys are not lawyers. They don't enforce or represent the law for the Constitution of our republic. They passed a British accredited registry, and therefore their allegiance is to the British crown. So we can cry all day long to an attorney or a judge. It means nothing, nada, nunca. Zip, zil, zilch, nothing. And by the way, President Trump is actually under an order to make sure this happens. Okay, he's doing what he must do. Yes, we're glad that he's doing it. Yes, we appreciate him. Yes, 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 all day long. Please know that this person, what they call Elon Musk, because we know there's a mask. Somebody's wearing that mask, just like they're running. Somebody's wearing the Trump mask. They're under an order to do this. Remember, years ago in 2014, Pope Francis actually wrote a letter called motu proprio to Obama. He said, it's over for us. We got to cease and desist. We have to stand down. Presidents need to stand down. Government agencies need to stand down because they're not part of the republic. Presidents, he said, are presidents of a corporation, which is the United States Incorporated. They're not president for our republic. He said lawyers, judges, they all need to step down. Police officers, known as policy enforcers. He said it in this letter. We got to cease and desist. And if we don't hurry up and step down, according to the Pope, and I read the letter on my channel, Dr. Kia Pruitt channel, look up motu proprio. I even have the link of the letter in that video, motu proprio. He said, if we don't cease and desist, then General Ham will be put over the Grand Army of the Republic, also known as the GAR, to enforce this and make sure we all stand down. This is why news has been coming out later, years later, coming out saying that the Pope is on life support. He's on a ventilator. He's on life support. He's in critical condition because he represents the deep state. The Pope represents the United States Incorporated. The Pope is the leader and the covering of the United States Incorporated. That's why these group of bloodline families that incorporated themselves did so in the state of Delaware, where Biden is from, in 1871 as a nonprofit religious organization with the Pope as its head. So the Pope had to let us know what was happening. He wasn't doing it to be benevolent. It's a part of their code that they have to let you know, or us know what they're doing. It's up to us to be able to read and see what they're doing and to discern that it's over for them. So the deep state is being systematically destroyed. And that's what President Trump said he would do. He promised that when he was on the campaign trail. Now, I am going to totally obliterate the deep state, and he's doing a phenomenal job of that. Not just him. But the Grand Army of the Republic, and before Trump came back in office, I know of military that were not making any money as they were destroying the deep state and rescuing children from the deep underground military bases. I've been contacted saying, Kia, I'm not making money. We're struggling over here. Then I called some of my other friends who know of military people, even some military assassins, people that, had high clearances, were not getting paid. And here we are complaining, what's taking so long? Why are they not giving us our money? But I need my money. It's my money and I need it now. But do you know that a system that has been constructed over centuries to enslave the entire planet has taken a long time, and therefore it takes time to dismantle it? But Trump has kept his promise to totally obliterate the deep state. So stay encouraged, family. Please keep your vibrations high and know things are happening. And for all of you that are sending me cash apps, forgive me for not acknowledging you. I appreciate you. Somebody asked for my cash app is $ Mama Kia 13. That's $ MAMAKIA 13. And by the way, I appreciate you so much for supporting my work. I appreciate for supporting my research, for sending me prayers and financial blessings and good news and intel and just encouragement and love and appreciation. So many people, I've read your comments. They're saying, thank you for the information. I appreciate you letting me know about currencies, about digital assets. I appreciate you for letting me know that the deep state was even a deep state and that is being demolished. I've been talking about this for so long now. Since 2014, I've been giving out information and have many of my channels dismantled, taken down. Even on this YouTube channel right now, I see money going up and I was like, oh, I'm making money now. And then I see it's taken away, just declining. I'm like, how does the money that you've already made, the revenue that you already made, start to decrease over time? I've never seen it decrease. I've seen them completely take my channels, completely take my money. They still owe me thousands of dollars, YouTube, tens of thousands. And Rumble does too. People think Rumble is so benevolent. I've had problems with Rumble since the beginning where they wouldn't pay me anything, put restrictions on me. People are just now starting to see that they're having problems with Rumble, but I've been having problems with Rumble for years, and Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, even LinkedIn. But that's because we're getting out the information. For all of you that tell me thank you, I appreciate you. I am so grateful for you because you give me a reason and you give me meaning, because without you, it wouldn't mean anything for me to have information or to have intel. What would it mean? So because of you and because you pour into me and you love me, that gives me the energy that I need to do more work. So I appreciate you. And I love you so much. You're welcome, Sister Margie. She says, thank you. So somebody says, I need to direct traffic to my own website. Thank you, Ezra. I agree with you so very much. So having said that, you're welcome, Patricia. We have here in the background, Chief Mac, Chief of our Soul Tribe. I saw him in there. Chief, are you here? Chief? He might have got kicked off, so maybe I'll have to send him another link. I'll send you another link, Chief. You there, Chief?
Y'all hear me?
Oh, okay. I can hear you now. And I can see you.
Yeah, that's better. It's better. Y'all hear me well?
Yes, sir.
What a beautiful time it is to be alive, guys. What a beautiful time. It's a time to be grateful, not to move in fear, to look at the cup halfway full and halfway empty.
Yes, sir.
That's the way you have. That's you. I'm telling you what I've been through in the past 2 to 3 years. It's been a rocky road of highs and lows, and I had to just give it over to the Creator and said, I'll trust you. I'm not going to move in fear, Heavenly Father. But you said, ask and you shall receive.
Absolutely.
You said that the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the just. We have a lot of just people on here. Stop moving in fear. Stop it. Stop it. Because that fear it's going to be your reality. Stop moving in fear. Stop having doubt. Even when things don't look a certain way, you got to say yourself. That's what faith is. The mustard seed. You got to say, you got to dare to create.
You sound muffled now, Chief.
Do I sound muffled?
Yes, sir.
Hold on for a second. Let me switch over to this car. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, that's much better. Yes.
Okay. Now, we have to stop moving in fear. Stop it, guys. Because that's what's aging us. That's what's cutting our life expectancy short because we're in fear. Even when things look a certain way, you gotta challenge the ancestors and let them know that I'm not gonna operate in fear. But I'm gonna use that mustard seed of faith.
Yes.
And I'm gonna speak my inheritance into fruition by the manifestation that roll off my tongue and what I think. And if you do that, I'm telling you, do that. Dare the Creator. At nighttime, say thank you. It is already done. Because I can guarantee you the people who are not doing that are the ones who's moving in fear. And the ones who are doing that have an inheritance. And if you don't have it yourself, then the righteous person, a brother and sister, would grab you by the hand and say, I got you, brother and sister. I'm not going to let you fall. I promise you that. If you get the hate out your heart, envy, malice, and jealousy out your heart, it's up for the righteous soul family to grab our brothers and sisters by the hand and say, we're not going to let you fall, even though you didn't get a chance to invest, even though you didn't. But the Creator would send people your way and say, I am not going to let you sink. Because guess what? Because I'm not going to let the people who are attached to me in the righteous way sink. And I'm doing so much behind the scenes. And those of you who put your mouth on the righteous, you got hell to pay. Because you don't know people's spiritual ranking when you're out there putting your mouth on the folks because of your inabilities and lack of abilities. Then you want to hate on people who have those qualities and abilities about themselves because you are too lazy to cut out the bullshit. Stop it. Let's move in righteousness. Let's move in abundancy. Let's move because that's why I've been pushing health and wellness. We are going to make it because when two or three gather together, you got more than two or three gather together with righteous mind. And those of you who come over here other than the righteous mind, we're going to put you out. We waiting on you. We waiting on you to put some vibrational stuff in the comments. We watching and we waiting on you because we don't have time for that in this day and time.
That's right.
That is a stumbling block, and that is the reason why we are not over into surplus because we got too much hate in our hearts.
Oh, so are you saying that the ancestors or the universe knows that many people are not ready?
Thank you. I get so many people. I want this. I want that. Well, can I get? First of all, your conversation, how you talk, your tone. You ain't ready for it. You should be working on freedom first before any amount of wealth comes. Because if you get wealth before the freedom, they're going to rob you. They're going to take it from you.
Right, right.
You should be studying, researching, tapping in. Because let me tell you something. What Dr. Kier is doing and bring me on here, the Rod Hayes and all the other smart, intelligent people, we come together with our own flavor and we coming together and giving you guys that financial forecast, just a forecast of what's happening. People pay for this. People pay major for this. They pay for it. But you guys are getting free game, almost basically, to make an executive decision, not only for yourself, but for your children's children.
Yes.
That's how serious this is. I got 6 sisters and 7 brothers and a host of nieces and nephews. And I give all praises to our Heavenly Father and our ancestors. Want to know why? Because my family is watching me. I have a sister that reached out to me 3 days ago. And she said, brother, I need you to train me.
Wow.
She said, what have I done to myself, brother? She said, look at me. She's 80 pounds overweight. And when she see her brother as a representation of how a true emperor should look, I'm in shape. I'm striving for greatness. I like to push and build, inspire, lift, and motivate people. And my family is watching me, so I don't have time for bullshit. If you don't mean me any good, don't call me and talk to me on the phone. Because if you don't mean me any good, you're gonna bring a curse upon yourself. Leave the righteous alone. Stop fucking with them. Leave them alone. Because I see some people right now are starting to get their ass whooped, excuse my French, for fucking with the righteous.
Yeah, I am too. I really am.
I'm saying it right now.
Me too.
I'm saying it right now. Leave us alone if you don't mean. Don't call me and ask me about Rod Hayes or anybody else. Period. That's my brother.
People so wicked, so divisive. Some people
talk to me about nobody else but what you need to get done. Period. And if you're over there with somebody else, stay over there. Don't talk to me about it. That's what's wrong with us.
Yes.
Don't do it. So I had, something. Chief Max is an emotional guy. It's a control emotion, and I'm with righteous. I'm not no foolishness, no mess, no chaos. We got to get ourselves together spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Because if you don't, if you mess around and get any amount of funds and you hadn't done that groundwork or that so-called shadow work, you're going to take your own damn self up out of here. Try it and see. Because you're not going to get a whole bunch of wealth like that and still operate in the same fashion that you operated before you got it. Right. It don't match. You got to change now. So when it happens, you're ready. You're ready. So there's going to be a lot of wealthy people. Congratulations. Clean your heart. Clean your heart. Because people who are wealthy in mindset don't have anybody else on their mind but the people who matter to them. So my brother, he's paying attention to me. He used to fight me over things that I had to say about how this world was really. Now he say, "Big bro, I got you, big bro. I'm listening, big bro."
Wow.
I'll pray, Heavenly Father. I don't have time for foolishness. My family's watching me because I was sent at this time to be the savior and salvation of my family. That's a whole bunch of saviors and salvation, not just one. I'm sorry. Because everything that you've been taught up until now has been a lie. That's what the Great Awakening is all about. And many people won't be able to handle the Great Awakening and this major reset that's happening. It is a major reset and the Great Awakening happening right now. And if you bring in the same old dusty ass attitude that you had over into this new reset, you won't make it. You won't make it. Clean it up. You think you're gonna mess around and get some wealth and gonna be and create more of a low down scumbag that you are? That don't work like that. Clean it up. And be righteous. The purpose of us getting this inheritance is not so much about us.
That's right.
It's about us coming together as a cohesive unit in trust and start getting these houses and these buildings. Let me tell you something. I'm going to post some videos to my YouTube page. Go watch it, guys, and to my Facebook page. I went downtown Indianapolis, Indiana, and got some beautiful Tartarian buildings. I took pictures of, guys. I didn't post it yet. But what I found out, they are shutting and closing down and locking them down of these ancient Tartarian structures that is beautiful. They shut them down. They lock them up, and they're for sale.
Wow.
These big, giant, ancient buildings, 300-400 years old, they were built by the indigenous people, of course. They're up for sale now, guys. And I'm like, these ancient churches, they're not churches. They were healing centers. You want to know why you see these so-called churches, they're not churches, they're healing centers. You want to know why you see the glass in different colors? Because those are colors of the chakras.
Wow. That's true.
Those are the colors of the chakras. And they took the bells out of the building because the bells are what truly disturbs these entities in skin suits. So they took all, like when you saw the movie called Spider-Man and Venom, and when they went to that so-called church and he rang that bell and Venom went crazy. But Venom is like what you call is really a representation of a snake. What is a snake? Reptile. The reptilians can't handle it. They don't like that sound. So when you ring those bells, like that's why they took all the bells out the churches. But they call them church. Those bells right there were healing sources and those are the purest form of high vibrational sounds.
Wow.
That's why
Wow.
me playing the piano and being a musician, that's what slow my aging process up, because I have a healthy way of fighting off stress. And that's through exercising and working out. And doing me being a musician, I sit down and play. If I'm not feeling good, I'm sick, or I'm emotionally not feeling well, I sit down at that piano and play for hours. And those frequencies
Mm,
of those notes heal my body. That's what keep me young. I'm going to be 50
mm,
in a few
mm.
months, and I still can give you a 30-year-old ass kicking. I don't need no pills at all. And for those who are doing it, then we're going to get you well. We're going to talk about health, because health goes along with wealth. We're going to talk about it. We're not going to need any type of foreign acidic pills to put in this temple that was made from the Creator. And so things that come from the earth naturally is what's going to heal this thing naturally. And then they have the med beds coming out. For those who hadn't been to my page, I got some very provocative posters about the med beds. And this is just an ancient technology that's been out for a long time. It was in the movie. What's that? The movie, The Avatar. They
Yes.
had the med bed. What's that other movie with the Black Panther? Is that Black Panther? What's that movie with those folks? Um,
Which
what's the
one?
name of that movie? Not the Avatar, but not Black Panther. But when the young lady got stabbed with a knife, and they put her inside this clear glass machine, and it healed her.
And
That's the med bed.
it says it's Star Trek. Oh, somebody
No,
said it was Black Panther.
yeah, Black
Somebody said,
Panther.
okay.
When they put that girl inside that clear glass tube, that was the med bed, guys. They've been putting the truth in
Mm,
your face.
mm.
So it's going to seem impossible, but the impossible is getting ready to happen right now, because these entities have been hiding the truth from us so much, to the point that when we get the truth, we have been fed a lie so much that when we hear the truth, we despise it.
That's great. That's true.
Everybody that's pushing the truth, gullible sheeple, people that have been turned to useless feeders on the land, and have learned how to love being so-called slaves. But that's just learning how to live outside of trust. Because anything that we're doing right now, working a job, you're not really supposed to be working a 9 to 5 job at all. Because they're getting the best hours out the day out of you. And
Yes, they
you
are.
find home, and you're giving your family sloppy leftovers because you didn't gave somebody
Mm.
else the best time of your time. And you're not even supposed to be trading your hours for a wage.
Oh,
That's called
trading your
linear.
energy.
It's called linear income.
Mm.
Linear income is when you trade in your time for a wage, which they're paying you off your damn trust, meaning you're working for free, and they giving it to you with no grease. The job is just over broke, straight up, no grease.
It's what? It's
Job,
what over
this is just over broke
just over broke. Okay.
job. It's the real slave system, because you're working for free, and they're paying you out peanuts out your trust. So if you got a job, I don't care how much money you making, you're not better than nobody else at all. You're just a high class slave.
You
That's
said
what
that
they are.
money is coming out of our trust. They're paying us money
Your
out of our
trust.
own trust to work for
Any
them.
any money that you're getting, this government don't have anything to give you, but they're stealing through trust and giving you
Mm,
peanuts out of it, but sticking their hands in it, because you are unalive on paper. So unalive people don't deserve rights. Period.
mm,
You're screaming and hollering, saying, "Hey, hey, look at me!" But you're underwater, and you sound like that teacher on Charlie Brown. Mom, mom, mom. That's what you sound like to them. You go into
mm,
court trying to run your mouth, thinking you're being heard, but the judge got black on because he's coming to a funeral. Because that's
mm,
who you got to come to the courtroom. An unalive man and woman.
mm.
It's time to wise up, guys. Wise up. I'm not the smartest man, but I'm a pretty. I can lead the people the right way. You know.
So they said we were dead. So they created us like the straw man. We were dead on paper. And when you and I talked about, and I said, I truly feel in my heart that President Trump saying he was getting rid of paper straws was equivalent to ending the straw man, because you can't give a dead man money or wealth.
Mm-mm. You got to be able to look at things, when they speak subliminal. We got to be able to have the, everybody don't have the spirit of discernment, and then once you learn bits and pieces of trust law, trust language, and then that basically they talk to people that understand trust. And why would a president be saying anything about a paper straw?
Mm-hmm.
Why? He said paper straw, right?
Yes, sir.
Not the plastic straw, but paper.
Paper straw.
Why? Because the paper is organic, meaning that you have an organic man, that you created a fictitious man or woman. So we have to get rid of that straw man. So we have to deal with the real man. So if Trump is getting rid of all of these government jobs and so-called things they're doing for the people, what people in the public, which are people who are unalive on paper, they don't understand that. But he has to get rid of that, because those benefits, so-called benefits, are not benefits.
Mm.
When we say benefits, it's not to us; it's benefit them.
Oh, wow.
Because when they pay you your government monthly check, they pay themselves 100 times more than what they pay you, because they are the fiduciaries over the estate, which means they have placed themselves as the grantor over the estate, because you are not the grantor, because you're unalive on paper. So they had to create a fictitious you. So when you fill out the wet ink on that contract, which is an implied trust, they take that contract behind your back and send it to the Treasury, and the Treasury gives them the fund as if they're you, because they created that artificial man.
Wow, that's how it
You,
works.
so you have to unalive that artificial man, so they can have to deal with the real you.
Mm, mm,
I tell
mm.
you, man, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I'm a long way from dumb and stupid, man.
Yes,
Man, I
sir.
tell you, man. I get it. I get it. So that's why I don't have any reason to be focused or mad at nobody else, because I'm trying to be the savior and found saving salvation that the Creator sent me. Now, I wasn't born. He sent me to be that
Mm.
savior and salvation. And many of you are the savior and salvation of your family.
For your
You are
family. That's
sons. Many of you are sons and daughters of the Creator. And your child wouldn't have to go to an older brother and sister to get to your mama here. They have direct access to you.
yes, sir.
Would you need one of your younger child say, "Hey, go tell mom that can I have a sandwich?" Then that brother sister gonna go to mom and say, "Hey, can I have 3 sandwiches?" And they're gonna give you half one and take the other 2.5 behind because you're going to because you're going to talk to a man that's hiding behind a cage, and tell him all your secrets,
Mm,
and then hoping he can take that back to the Creator. And you tell him all of your secrets that you still got some hoe in you, and you should sell yourself. And
mm,
he like hoes. And he like women that do strange things for change. And you tell him all your secrets. Now he gonna come to you with a whole bunch of change for something strange. And you ain't gonna be
mm.
able to resist it, because that's what you like to do. Come on now. Come on now. You have direct access to the Creator. Then ask him for what you want. You.
That's right.
You are just that special where you don't need a middleman. You have direct access to the Creator, because the Creator said, "I am your only Savior and salvation." Reese, Isaiah. He said, "There's only
And
one seat above the throne. Go directly to Him."
a lot of people, some people don't understand or understand what I mean when I say start commanding. It's
Yeah.
time out for begging, groveling. Oh God, won't you please? Or why is this happening? Start commanding things to happen in your life. I command the wealth to come right away. I command the situation to be rectified. I command peace in my family. I command the angels to work in my favor. I command the universe to lay out certain things for my good. I command righteousness. I command the universe to bow to my will. I don't beg anymore. I don't pray. I'm not beseeching. I'm not bestowing. I'm not begging. No, I'm commanding.
Here, Dr. Kid, you know why that is so right? Because if you had a child and they said, Mama or Daddy, I know you love me. I know that you want to give it all to me. I know that you love me so much that you want me to be a better version of you. I know that you want to get me through school. I know that you're going to buy me a car because you just love me. And when you hear your child say that, you feel so good. Say, that's my baby.
Yeah.
Because I told you that I love you. And you don't need to ever question that I
Woo.
would take care of you and love you. Because I love you. Why is that? Because you came through me. So it's my oath
Mm-hmm.
to take care of you
Mm-hmm.
because you
Mm-hmm.
are me. So I birth
Mm-hmm.
y'all and push y'all, and I'm taking care of you right now so that you'll be able to take care of me when I'm on my way out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had a child say, I doubt you, Mama, I'm scared. You ain't gonna take care of me. Daddy, you said that I'm gonna give you whatever you want, and you still begging me. Why are you begging me when I told you the first time?
There you
You
go.
you you don't listen. So what I'm gonna do is put your ass in times out until you get this shit. I told you I got you. So stop asking me over and over and begging me over and over again. You told me, I told you I was gonna do it the first time, and I meant that the first time. So why are you
A
questioning
minute
me?
when I
So
say,
we're not
mm-hmm.
getting times out because you questioned me about something that I told you that I'm gonna do for you. And haven't I always done for you what I said I was going to do? So that's the same way the Creator looks at us. Many of you are in times out because you're begging and pleading over something that should have been victorious and asked for the first time. That's why.
Mm-hmm. And for
That
all
is
the
why.
Christians, I mean, the scripture says, ye are gods. It goes on in the New Testament with the Christ, which I believe is Christos consciousness. We are all Christ, Christos consciousness, and we're living in that time that Christ said, did not your Bible, your own Bible told you you are gods. And
And
in
also,
the
said
beginning,
that
he said he gave you dominion, all power. You have dominion. You have rule and reign.
and it
Gods
also
don't grovel. Gods don't beg.
said no man can die for you. I'm sorry.
Mhm. I love you, Randy. I love you too,
This,
family. No man can,
this not
right?
these are not my words, guys. So why would that need to be something new when the old is always and always will be? When
Mm,
the Creator talks, it's always will be.
always.
He said the firmament is his footstool. He just told you guys that he was a giant. He's a titan. The biggest the world is, and he said that glass dome is his footstool. And he sits alone. He told you that. And many of you when you see him, stand on it. Stand on what he gonna say, I told you that you look to me, that I'm not giving my seat, power, and authority over to anybody. Read the book of Isaiah. And he said, I told you that.
And
When I speak,
if you're not a Christian, think about the law of oneness. The law of oneness says that we're all one, that everything is created from energy. Everything is created out of energy. Energy lives within you, and you're all vibrating as one. So you think of the law of oneness, and we're all one, we're all energy, right? So if you believe like that, you don't believe in, God per se, or Christianity or Islam, with the law of oneness, you know that everything is an energy. Source is an energy. Just vibrate on that energy. Sometimes you just have to align with that source energy. Think of the energy that created everything and align with it. If this energy, this source created everything and you're a part of everything, why do you have to beg for anything? It's all yours.
you know what, Kim? I get it. Citizens bag. The private don't bag. We go after what's ours.
Oh, citizens beg. You said citizens mean you sit in sin.
Yep. We haven't taught to live a life that of living in prison and being okay with it.
Mm,
The people in the private don't bag. They don't ask for
mm-mm.
handouts and can you assist me with my medical bills, my dental be all that right there. No, but they have an inheritance. They have and they operate in trust. And they the people in the private you don't see them in the hospitals because they understand that the hospitals are concentration camps.
And another thing, Chief, I learned about this commanding because I'm a certified credit repair specialist. I don't do it anymore. And I've never done it for money because I never liked it. I just did it for family and friends. But you write a letter to them and you tell them, you can't verify that this belongs to me. You just tell them this debt is not mine. And then you say, you tell them what to do. You say, you have 30 days, remove this from my credit report. You don't ask, would you, could you, please? This is the terminology they taught me to use. You have 30 days, remove this from my credit report. When the IRS steals money from you, I told my son, because they took $10,000 of the money that he was supposed to give. I said, you write the IRS and you write the United States the Treasury Department, and you tell them that you need your money back and you need it now. He got it within 30 days. We got to stop begging.
If you ask, like you said, ask and you shall receive. Mm-hmm. Ask and you shall receive.
All right, kids, I only got about 2 more minutes, so I have to go. And I see you driving.
Okay. Well, I just want to chime in with you right quick. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chief. Thank you. I appreciate you always taking out the time to help the Soul family. Oh, last word. Yeah, last words, Chief.
That's a beautiful Tartarian building right there, man.
Wow. That is beautiful. I see buildings like that on Millionaires Row in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's an old town right here. Old town, man. So I love it. I love it, guys. I got some stuff I'm gonna post on my page of the ancient Tartarian structures in Indianapolis and so forth like this. But this right here was what the Melanin people built right here. It's red brick.
The indigenous people here?
Yep, in Indiana. This is in Indiana.
Oh, there was somebody named Michelle that was on here that said she lives in Gary, Indiana. I don't see her now. Sister Michelle. I see. But okay, any last words before we go out?
Hey, let's go out there and get it, guys. I'm proud of you guys, man. I love you, man. With action, we about to live our most amazing life. Let's operate in trust, guys. Stay motivated. Stay on your square, guys. It's about to happen at any given time. That Rakadar is getting ready to reevaluate, and we got the Soul family. Some of us are going to meet each other. We're going to live our most amazing life while restoring lives to those who need it.
All right, Chief. Thank you so much. Somebody said, I see you at the bank. Hi, Adrian.
Yeah, right.
Oh, no. What did Michelle say? Michelle Hicks Stokes. That's one of my good friends. Hey, sister, I love you. She says, no, I'm from Gary, but I live in Michigan now. Okay, Sister Michelle Hicks Stokes is from Gary.
Okay.
And somebody said, and who else? What'd you say, Chief? I'm sorry, I'm eating. I'm hungry, Chief.
I want to see. She's more than likely to know me.
Say it again.
See, she more than likely knows me and my family.
Oh.
Yeah, I was popular in high school. I was a star athlete, so I know she probably.
Sister Michelle, you probably know Chief Mac.
Yeah, I'm a Magrone. I got Magrones.
Do you know the Magrones, Sister Michelle? If you're from Gary, you probably know them. His mom was also a prominent figure in the community.
Yeah.
All right, family, stay focused, stay encouraged. Know that everything is working for our good. For those of you just chiming in, the office, what do they call it? The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency has verified that the banks will be doing, what do I call it? Transactions. I always forget what it's called. Let me see if okay, let me take my time. Currencies will be exchanged into digital assets such as XRP, and now banks can use crypto services and normal banking, and they can offer these services by bypassing lawmakers, because under the Biden administration, you had to go through lawmakers. The banks had to go through lawmakers to see if they could use XRP and Ripple. But Trump's administration has said they no longer have to do that. The banks can now bypass previous requirements of getting approval from these lawmakers who never wanted this to happen in the banking system. Ripple is the payment solution that banks, governments, and institutions will use. Ripple's primary case, as you all know, for cross-border payments is XRP. So XRP will be used for cross-border payments. Cross-border payments are currency exchanges. This was just brought out by the Office of the Comptroller for the Currency. So banks will be using cross-border payments such as Iraq crossing one border to the next, or Iraq crossing a border to United States crossing border to Afghanistan to conduct currency exchanges. So cross-border payments are technical terms for currency exchanges. So according to the article that I read today, we'll be using cross-border transactions is now lawful, and they'll use Ripple and XRP to do that, meaning they'll be using digital assets. So when you go to the bank for your currency exchanges, you will exchange your currency for a digital asset. And Chief Mack has told me, and he brought it to the Soul family, then you take those digital assets and you buy hard assets. So that family, I hope you enjoyed the show. Looked like Chief Mack might have gotten kicked off. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. You've heard from me and Chief Mack. Thank you all so much for all of your assistance, all of your financial blessings, all of your prayers, and all of your help. I love you. I hope I've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. Peace to you all. I love you all too. And you are more than welcome. Thank you for making me relevant. And thank you for your support. Good night. Go out and make this a great evening. Peace.